Hello and welcome to another session of Groundbreakers Live. I'm your host Javed Mohammed, and we're very honored to have with us Andrej Baranovskij. Andrej, welcome.
Hi, thanks.
Okay, and Andrej is a full stack developer. He's a machine learning expert and the founder of Cantana. So Andrej, it's great to have you here as part of the EMEA virtual 2020 Groundbreakers tour. I know it's a very different experience. So I'm assuming, are you really on vacation, or is that just a great backdrop behind you?
Oh yeah, just very nice backdrop. Unfortunately, I wish I would be there, but no.
Okay.
The weather is quite gray and rainy, and yeah, not as good. Yeah.
Okay. And I think you mentioned you're actually in Lithuania, which I assume is a little further away than your backdrop right there.
Yeah, it's quite far away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so
yeah.
Okay. So you have a presentation on the tour, Zero Shot Learning in Modern NLP. So help us, just start off at the top level. So, most of us hear some of these words of the NLP. Explain what is it?
Yeah. So just a few words about myself, about the background. So
Sure.
I work with Oracle technologies for 15 years already, so a long time. But like 2-3 years ago, I decided to look a bit wider and go into machine learning field and check what happens in open source and so on. So what I'm doing, I'm kind of trying to merge my Oracle knowledge plus now open source knowledge related to machine learning.
Excellent.
And if to talk about NLP, so if you look into machine learning to this day, language processing is the field which is probably the most popular when we talk about machine learning in terms of use cases or practical usage. So by far, text processing takes probably the first place in terms of machine learning popularity.
Mm-hmm. And what are some specific examples where text learning is used, like in terms of like everyday people? What kind of thing?
Like chatbots. So the most popular and simpler example. So whenever you go to some website where a company wants to provide just quick support, you would have this like a pop-up where you could type a question and get the answer. So typically this question would be processed by NLP and to understand what actually user wants. So this is one of the examples, like for example this one, the chatbot, so very popular.
So can you just, again, for those of us who are not as familiar with NLP, so what exactly is NLP and how is it used to do this classification? So when you've got this text coming at you, what is it doing to actually parse this data?
Yeah, so computers, computer would not understand text, right? It's just it's no meaning to the computer. So the way NLP works, there are certain algorithms. There are multiple algorithms and multiple ways to transform text like words into numbers. So if you have a sentence, then the algorithm takes the sentence and translates it to like an array or a set of numbers. It's like there is a vocabulary where each word, let's say, is mapped to certain numbers. So then sentence becomes a list of numbers. And then when you get multiple sentences, you get multiple list of numbers. And then you can actually compare those arrays together. And based on the set of numbers, you can detect sentiment like positive or negative, because you would have in vocabulary, you would have let's say mapping, like this word is positive, this word is negative, and then when you get a sentence, you get collection of those words. You can judge, the algorithm can return probability that looks like based on a set of words being used in the sentence, probably that's positive or negative. Yeah, so this is how it works.
So because human speech is so, I don't know, it's so layered, there's we say, the message between the line. So from an accuracy standpoint, where do you think we are at in terms of, you gave the example of chatbots. I mean, so in terms of these algorithms, how accurately are they able to interpret, text?
Yeah, Yeah, these days the algorithms are getting actually really strong, and there was a new method was introduced from 2000 end of 2018 called transformers, and this is special method which allows to do so-called like transfer learning. And the main idea is that there is a model which is trained by some big company like Google or Microsoft or Oracle, and this model is trained based on a lot of text from the internet, like on Wikipedia or lots of public text. And then, so you don't need to spend time and resources to train that model. Then as a developer, you take this model and you can fine tune it with your custom, for example, vocabulary. And then out of the box, you get very good quality of classification, because the model have a lot of data in there, and a model knows a lot of text, a lot of words, and this way you can get high accuracy.
Okay, all right. So it seems like we're making some pretty good advances in this. So if that's the present, I'm just kind of, what would the future look like? Say if you were to forecast 2 years out, 5 years out, what kind of world will we be in then? How does it change from where we're at now?
Yeah, now it's like a hot topic for the new development is actually like a text generation, so that computer would be able to construct text which will look like a text which is produced by human, like blocks or sentences or articles and so on. Yeah. So this is the hot area of current research.
Okay.
So not actually text classification, but text creation and
text
generation.
creation. Okay. All right. So what's going to happen to all the writers and content creators if computers start doing all of this content creation? I'm thinking of even my own job.
yeah. Well, I think it's like with machine learning, it would happen some like would handle some routine tasks, but probably more advanced cases it still would not be able to do. So probably should not worry.
Okay. All right.
I think I look at it like more like a helper utility, like when you need to do some routing tasks of writing, for example. So instead of writing yourself, you could use the machine that could
All right.
the text.
So it's a helper. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Exciting. Well, Andrej, this is a very exciting topic. Thank you so much for sharing, and I wish you all the best with your presentation.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.